I don't have to raise my voice that much. Barbara, I first met Mayor Barbara in India, and I was 30, and he referred to me as a lad. And later on, Darwin, Daryl's son, called me because they'd heard me talking at the Easter harvest. He referred to me as Billy Boy, and it's true that Barbara has referred to me as Billy Boy, and I sort of think, yeah, at the age of 87, it's time I grew up. Sort of, you know, enough. Anyway, it reminded me, it suddenly came back to mind something that it really stayed with me and impressed me very much. In the early 70s, I brought quite a big group of Australians to Mehrabad, and on the way we called in at Pune, and we stopped at a restaurant run by a Parsi, and I've forgotten his name. But what he told me made quite such an impression. He was talking about his early life, and when I saw him, he would have gone by now. He was an old man when we were talking, and his two sons were the ones active in the restaurant just near Barbara's childhood home. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I've forgotten, no?
Or Pumpkin House.
No, yes, it's near there. Anyway, he was telling me how he would be in his restaurant, and Barbara Jan would come past in a tonga, and beckoned for him to come to be with her, and they would do perhaps go down to Bun Garden. Say, Barbara. And he said how embarrassed he would be if he'd had a drink before she came. And then he told me about the early years, how he had a fine singing voice, and he would sing to Barbara. This was I gather in the early 20s. And he said, I would delight Barbara. Barbara would praise me. He obviously enjoyed my singing. And one day Barbara said to him, come and be with me, come and live with me, and I will make you a man. And he said this, and he slapped his forehead. He said, what I thought was, I remembered my mother and my sister whom I was supporting, and I said no. And his whole life was one of regret. But that phrase, that little sentence really stayed with me. I'll make you a man. And that was what I thought when Darwin mentioned Billy Boy again, and I thought that's what I want to be, become a man in his service, and that's what, of course, we all want to. Man, I mean man, woman, I don't mean, yes.